Welcome to another episode of Historical Facts, Disturbing or Delightful. Buckle up and get ready to decide for yourself if these facts are disturbing or delightful.
Abraham Lincoln stands as a giant in American history. His legacy is intertwined with the preservation of the Union and emancipation. As the 16th president, Lincoln guided the nation through the Civil War. His leadership continues to inspire generations. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a rudimentary log cabin in Hodgenville, Kentucky. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln, were farmers of modest means. Lincoln received less than a year of formal schooling, yet a thirst for knowledge burned brightly within him. He was a voracious reader, teaching himself law, history, and literature. This self-directed education instilled in Lincoln a profound love of learning and self-reliance. Life on the Kentucky frontier was harsh and unforgiving. The Lincolns eked out a living from the land. Young Abraham contributed to the family's survival. He toiled alongside his father, learning hard work and perseverance. Despite the demands, Lincoln's parents valued education. His mother instilled in him a love of learning. She recognized his keen intellect and thirst for knowledge. Evenings were spent around the fireplace. His father read aloud, sparking Abraham's love of literature. Nancy Hanks Lincoln was a woman of deep faith and strong moral convictions. She instilled in her son a profound sense of right and wrong. These values guided Lincoln throughout his life. Though her life was cut short, her influence was enduring. She recognized his potential and nurtured his love of learning. Lincoln's relationship with his father, Thomas, was more complex. Thomas was a stern figure, struggling to understand his son's pursuits. Despite their differences, Lincoln respected his father's sacrifices. From Thomas, Lincoln learned the value of hard work and perseverance. The death of Nancy Hanks Lincoln in 1818 was a devastating blow to young Abraham. The loss of his mother left a void in his life. He carried the weight of her absence with him throughout his life. Lincoln grew increasingly withdrawn and introspective. He sought solace in books, finding comfort and escape in the written word. 2 years after his mother's death, Lincoln's father remarried. His new wife, Sarah Bush Johnston, brought stability and warmth back into the Lincoln household. In 1830, seeking better opportunities, the Lincoln family decided to move west. They packed their meager belongings into a covered wagon and joined the pioneers heading to Illinois. The journey was long and arduous, fraught with challenges and uncertainties. For young Abraham, it was an adventure, a chance to experience new landscapes. After weeks of travel, the Lincolns reached Macon County, Illinois. Abraham, now 21, threw himself into the demanding work of frontier life. Life in Illinois was a world apart from Indiana. The vast prairies instilled in Lincoln a sense of awe. The bustling settlements offered glimpses into American life. Lincoln embraced these new experiences, developing skills for the future. He took on various jobs to support his family, working as a storekeeper, postmaster, and rail splitter. He honed his skills. Lincoln's interest in law began to take root. The Black Hawk War provided his first taste of military life. As Lincoln entered his mid-20s, he began to take on a more prominent role in his community. His reputation for honesty, hard work, and common sense earned him the respect of his neighbors. In 1832, he ran for the Illinois House of Representatives, delivering his first political speeches. Though Lincoln lost this first election, it marked the beginning of his political career. He continued to study law, passing the bar exam in 1836. Lincoln's legal career flourished in Springfield. He quickly gained a reputation as a skilled and tenacious attorney. The years Lincoln spent in New Salem and Springfield were a time of immense growth. He honed his skills as a lawyer and public speaker. As Lincoln's reputation grew, so did his commitment to public service. He believed deeply in the promise of America and equality for all. The young Lincoln, shaped by frontier life, believed in self-government and serving the public good. His New Salem experiences ignited his passion for public service. In 1832, at 23, Lincoln launched his first political campaign. Illinois politics were dynamic, with debates on infrastructure, banking, and slavery. Lincoln eagerly joined the political fray, determined to shape the new state. Campaigning on a shoestring budget, he traveled town to town, connecting with voters. His folksy speeches resonated with voters, showcasing his honesty and common sense. Lincoln's political philosophy was deeply influenced by the Whig Party, which advocated for a strong national government promoting economic development. Lincoln embraced these principles, witnessing the transformative effects of projects like the Erie Canal. Central to his beliefs was a deep respect for the Constitution and the rule of law. This belief guided his actions, reaching its pinnacle during the Civil War. In the 1830s, Illinois needed better transportation infrastructure. Muddy roads and unreliable rivers hindered trade. Lincoln championed roads, canals, and railroads for economic growth. In the legislature, he tirelessly advocated for infrastructure. He introduced bills, gave speeches, and built coalitions. Lincoln's efforts laid the groundwork for Illinois' economic transformation. His belief in infrastructure's unifying power was profound. He envisioned a network binding the nation together. Lincoln remained deeply attuned to the needs of ordinary people. He never forgot his humble roots and empathized with farmers, laborers, and small business owners. His empathy and intellect made him a powerful voice for the common man. Lincoln's legislative record reflects his commitment to social justice. He supported public education, recognizing its importance for societal progress. He advocated for criminal justice reforms to ensure equal treatment under the law. Lincoln's pragmatism and understanding of governance complexities tempered his commitment to social justice. By the mid-1850s, slavery dominated American politics, casting a long shadow over the nation's future. The Compromise of 1850 delayed the inevitable confrontation. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 ignited violence and deepened the divide. The Republican Party emerged as a powerful force, opposing the expansion of slavery. Founded in 1854, it united anti-slavery Democrats, Whigs, and Free Soilers. The party called for restricting slavery, repealing the Fugitive Slave Act, and preserving the Union. Lincoln found a political home in the Republican Party, drawn to its commitment to equality and liberty. The Republican Party's rise was meteoric, fueled by outrage over the Kansas-Nebraska Act. In the 1856 election, John C. Fremont won 114 electoral votes, signaling the party's growing strength. In 1858, Lincoln emerged as the Republican Party's nominee for the U.S. Senate seat held by Stephen Douglas. Douglas, a Democrat, was a skilled debater and a national figure. The Lincoln-Douglas debates, held in 7 cities across Illinois, became one of the most famous political confrontations in American history. The debates drew enormous crowds, eager to witness the clash. Lincoln and Douglas presented starkly different visions for the future of the nation. Lincoln argued that slavery was a moral evil that should be contained and ultimately extinguished. Though Lincoln lost the election, the debates catapulted him to national prominence. The 1860 presidential election took place in a nation teetering on the brink of collapse. The issue of slavery had driven a wedge between North and South. Political crises like the Fugitive Slave Act and Dred Scott decision inflamed tensions. Lincoln campaigned on preventing slavery's expansion. His message was seen as a threat in the South. Southern leaders warned of secession if Lincoln were elected. Lincoln's victory highlighted the nation's deep divisions. He carried no Southern states, winning solely in the North. The election of Abraham Lincoln proved to be the tipping point for secession. South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union on December 20th, 1860. 6 other Southern states followed, forming the Confederate States of America. The secession presented Lincoln with an unprecedented crisis upon his inauguration. In his inaugural address, Lincoln appealed for unity, but his words fell on deaf ears in the South. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces fired upon Fort Sumter, marking the beginning of the Civil War. The Civil War was a conflict unlike any other in American history. It pitted brother against brother, father against son, in a bloody struggle. Lincoln faced the daunting task of leading a nation riven by conflict. The early years of the war were marked by Union setbacks. The Confederate Army, led by skilled commanders, proved formidable. Lincoln recognized the need for decisive action. He appointed Ulysses S. Grant and implemented a strategy of attrition. Lincoln never wavered in his belief that the Union must be preserved. The Civil War was a test of whether a government of the people could endure. As the Civil War raged, Lincoln grappled with the implications of slavery. The conflict evolved into a crucible for the nation's soul. Lincoln recognized the time had come for decisive action. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued in 1863, was pivotal. It declared all persons held as slaves in rebellious states to be free. The Emancipation Proclamation became a beacon of hope for millions, signaling a turning point in the nation's moral conscience. It transformed the conflict into a war to eradicate slavery, aligning Union goals with freedom and equality. News spread like wildfire, offering a glimmer of hope that freedom was within reach. The proclamation also had a profound impact internationally, aligning the North with the global abolition movement. Lincoln's bold proclamation stands as a testament to his moral courage and belief in liberty and equality. Abraham Lincoln's journey from humble beginnings to the presidency is a testament to the enduring power of the American spirit. Born in a log cabin, he rose to lead the nation through its greatest crisis, preserving the Union and ending slavery. His legacy extends beyond the Civil War, marked by his eloquence and commitment to liberty and equality. Lincoln's words, etched in stone, continue to inspire, reminding us of democracy's fragility and hope's power. His assassination in 1865 cast a pall over the nation's victory, but his legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to strive for a just society. His belief in America's promise remains a guiding light.
You've been watching Historical Facts, disturbing or delightful.